Hey, what's up, y'all? This Disciple Marshall Occurrence Rain. Yeah, um, this message right here, I feel is necessary to talk about when it comes to gang stalking, and I think that this issue and topic deserves a video for itself instead of being discussed as a satellite within another video. So that's why I'm making this video. It's something I already covered. It's something I already covered in gang stalking. But I feel it's necessary to go ahead and cover it, like I said, in its own video instead of a satellite. So what this video is called is pedophilia entrapment operations. Pedophilia entrapment operations. Gang stalking. Pedophilia entrapment operations. Okay. So here we go. So what I noticed is that America is using children to psychologically play with people. They're using children like on commercials, Facebook, like just these weird children like videos that just seem off, and you can feel it. The timing on it is off. The timing on it when they put it on your phone is off. The timing that you watch stuff on TV that shows children in it is off. When you go outside, you turn a corner or you come into your building, you see children, that's off. The main thing with this pedophilia entrapment operations that I noticed is that it's all about timing. It's all about synchronicity. Okay? If they can catch you at the right time, or they're hoping to trigger you. That's the whole method that this gang stalking method is of using children literally. These people are usually walking children, pushing strollers. They have their children sitting down in floors of check cashing places. They may have their children just pour out of buildings, pour out of cars right as you pull up, and the timing is too perfect. The timing is too perfect for it to be normal. It's one because see, the whole thing is to incriminate you with like, well, you should just be normal. Not if I know that you're doing it on purpose. Not that if I know that you're intentionally trying to trigger me. Why would I be normal when I know I don't care what you're using? You could use a million children. You could use children in my family. If I know that you're intentionally doing it, then I should be apprehensive. I should be outstanding. I should be standing away from you. In other words, off-standing. You know, and see, that's how they get you. Is they get you where you know you don't want to discuss that with anyone else, because then somebody would think that you're being weird or strange, or maybe you have something to hide about children because you're bringing it up and it's on your mind. Nah, your intuition is telling you that they're doing it on purpose. And they're doing it to control the way you think. They're doing it to make you feel that you are a pedophile. That's why they're doing it. They're doing it to make you feel like you struggle with desires for children. And you know you don't. You know, because reality, like I taught you about gang stalking, the one-on-one about it all is that you to know what reality is. All right? with your mind. And period. Reality triumphs over everything. It don't matter what somebody say. It's all about what happens in real time. Your thoughts are between you and God, okay? But these people are trying to make you feel like you're a pedophile, so that you therefore put on this character of a pedophile, hoping that you rebel and just do something with a child or masturbate thinking about children. They want you to rebel and become that very thing. Yeah. So don't be afraid to talk about it. The things that the devil the devil himself or his people or his kingdom can put across your mind concerning children, or these gang stalkers, because it's definitely a pedophilia entrapment war going on right now against many people. I can tell. I can look at them and tell. I can look at a lot of you and tell that you're going through it. And you can't tell nobody about it because you don't want them to think you're a pedophile. You don't want them to think that something's wrong with your mind. You don't want them to think that that you going crazy. And you're not going crazy. They are intentionally putting children before you. They are intentionally putting children in your path, seeing how you respond. And a lot of you may be going through it because you just don't acknowledge children. That's not your problem. That's not your fault. Some people envy that because in actuality, their life is all about children because they got too many children, and you just free. You don't acknowledge children. You don't have to deal with them. You don't have to think about them. And there's nothing wrong with that. And your mind is free. Because this had an origin point. If you're not a person that actually has pedophilia desires, or you're not, and most importantly, you're not doing anything with children, then these pedophilia entrapment operations had a origin. They had a beginning point. And what I think the beginning point was in America is, first of all, paranoia, thinking everyone wants their children, thinking everything means someone sexually desires their children. These are the things. This society is so paranoid with children that they're flattering their children. I'm just keeping 100. You flattering your children. Nobody wants your children. Nobody wants them sexually. Nobody is thinking about that but you. You are the origin point of that mentality. And so that goes for so now we're trying to see who's the one who's doing it. Besides the gang stalkers, there are also these vigilante type people. It's not only one group of people. You got the cops. Police be doing stuff too. Yeah. They might send children around you, seeing how you respond, driving by, using undercovers, driving by in their cars, watching you. Yeah. You gotta watch out for the cops when it comes to this specifically. If you're noticing pedophilia entrapment operations, it could be cops. It could be 2 or 3 different types of gang stalking groups. Okay, but what they may have monitored was that you just are not, you just don't care about acknowledging children. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing, you don't have to go into the country and the world and embrace all children. That's not what God is calling you to do. The Bible says Jesus embraced the children. Yes. In this time with people like all these celebrities that are caught up in sexual scandals, you can't come into this country trying to embrace children. You can't come with that kind of energy. If you haven't learned anything concerning pedophilia and accusations and all that kind of thing, Michael Jackson is was the poster boy for that. Okay, he may have been pure with children and embraced children, and he probably even thought about the Lord. He probably even thought about how Jesus embraced children. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. He's been around. He's heard a lot. He's seen a lot. He probably thought about Jesus embracing children. But you can't in America have children in your bed. You can't be sleeping with children in your bed. You know better than that. You know ain't no way you can do that. Even though you could be right. You could be feeling like, oh, I just want to lay with him. I just want to snuggle up with him and all that. Like a dog. Like them. No, you know what I mean when I say that. The elements are more that they're adorable, that you want to embrace. But you can't do that because people, even though your mind is not there thinking that way, you have to think for other people. Unfortunately. And other people in this country, like I said, they're paranoid. They always thinking somebody want their children. They're always thinking somebody's doing something with children. That's what country you live in. And here's the punchline though. 40 states allow children under the age of 18 to have sex with adults. Yeah. 40 states allows human beings that's under the age of 18 to have sex with adults. I'm not telling you to look anywhere else. I'm not talking about any other country. I'm talking about right here in America where everyone is trying to insinuate that everyone's a pedophile. That's what I'm talking about. This is where I'm talking about. Where all these people are witch hunting people using children. They don't do that in other countries. The police are not doing that, from my understanding. Like American police are using children to try to entrap and see who's a pedophile. But yet, 40 states allows children to have sex with adults. But yet you trying to set up a pedophile operation against, hoping to catch a pedophile. Yet the law that you enforce allows the laws that you enforce allows children to have sex in 40 states. This is what you people need to know. This country has created a hub, if you will, for pedophilia. Yeah, you letting children have sex that's under 18 in 40 states. Some of the states the age of consent for sex is 16. You letting 16-year-old kids have sex with grown 50 years old guys and women. Okay, that's actually happening right now. Why people have such a problem, I'm gonna speak for me, why I have such a problem with America on it, is they the first ones to sit up and holler pedophilia. Other countries are not doing that. Other countries are not sitting up trying to catch people doing all this kind of stuff. Other countries are not accusing their musicians and stars of stuff they didn't do. Their greatest musicians. Michael Jackson was our greatest musician. This country went crazy on him about pedophilia and still was not able to truly prove it. Bill Cosby, one of the greatest family men actors or role models with the Cosby Show, they accuse him. R. Kelly, the list goes on and on. So this is the same country that's sitting up hollering and thinking about it. They got to be thinking about it. They're obsessed with thinking this way for some reason. It's something weird. It's like a fetish for them almost to catch people or to think about people that like children. I don't care who likes children. I'm not sitting up worried about it. I'm just being real. It's not something I'm worried about. But yet this country is, And yet they have 40 states that allow children to have sex with adults. So while they're out there talking about the R. Kellys in the world, while they're out there still talking about what Michael Jackson may have done or not done, while they're out here talking about who's the other one? Bill Cosby and what he did, you should have 40 states that allow children to have sex. 40 out of 50. So that's the majority. The majority of your country allows children to have sex with adults. That's what I have smoke with you about. Not that I got nothing to hide, none of that. It's about you coming out witch hunting people in the name of catching pedophiles, but yet your whole country basically allows children to have sex with adults. If it's not 18, it's under 18. It's not an adult. I don't care what you say. If they are not 18 with someone that's over 18 or 18, then what do you think what is that? Based on your culture now, based on what you're talking about. Because you're talking about adults having sex with children. 40 states allows children to have sex with adults. People are calling you on your hypocrisy. That's what it is. Nobody's worried about Russia. Nobody's worried about Africa. Nobody's worried about Asia. Because Asia is not sitting around trying to witch hunt pedophiles and play games and psychological entrapment operation games with people that they think are pedophiles. They're not doing that. Not like you. Yeah, that's the smoke that people got with you. It's alarming. It's shocking that the same people are under a law that allows in 40 states children to have sex with adults. That's what it is. I don't care what age or whatever how you want to put it. 40 states allows children to have sex with adults. All right, so that's what you got to know. Don't let America play with you because they are under the greatest umbrella of hypocrisy that you can imagine with this. They don't have the reason. They don't even have the integrity to enforce laws against pedophiles, in my opinion. If you allow children to have sex with adults, how can you enforce any pedophilia laws? What you think, that everybody's going to play by the rules? You allow children to have sex with adults, but you think everybody's going to play by the rules. That's a ridiculous concept. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take you seriously. I take your laws seriously. Your laws show where you're really at. Your laws showing that you allow adults to have sex with children. That's what I'm looking at. Forget what you're talking about. Forget your culture. Forget these crazy paranoid people that act like they love kids, because the American community is also guilty because they're sitting back also killing their own kids and their own family. So what do you want? You don't see none of them protesting about it. I gotta say all of that so you understand, because for people that are drawn to this and you've been through this is what you gotta understand. These same people out here killing their kids. These same people out here are hiding the truth about how kids got killed in gangbanging violence. Yeah, the black neighborhoods are out here not even talking about situations when kids get killed. So how they gonna talk? So how they gonna act like some OGs trying to check you about messing with kids when you're holding secrets about kids getting killed? And how these white people gonna talk to you when their families have created laws for 40 states out of 50 states in America for children to have sex with adults? They can't talk to you. They can't see you. You don't let them play with you like that. I don't let them play with me like that. I educate myself. That's what it's called. People say, well, how you know stuff like this? Because it's called education. For you ignorant people, it's called education. It's called educating yourself knowing the law. You understand? Understanding what is practiced around you, understanding the perception that is around you, understanding how the issues are dealt with in your society. Some of you are just too squeamish to deal with the issue. You're too soft. That's why you haven't looked it up. That's why you don't know nothing about it, because you're too soft on the issue. But yet you're sitting up hollering about it. But yet you're sitting up talking about it. So these pedophilia entrapment operations are also used. That's used by gang stalkers. It's also used to try to make you feel suicidal, try to make you feel like you're a pedophile. All this stuff. Like I said before in the other videos about gang stalking, you know what you do and you don't do. Your thoughts are between you and God. If you struggle with some kind of thoughts in your mind, God will deliver you. That's between you and God. You don't have to explain to no man down here. No black people, no ghetto thugs and gangsters, and none of them people. No mobs or none of these white sheriffs and politicians. You don't have to explain nothing to them. They ain't got a warrant, then you tell them to get out your face. Because they're breaking your constitutional rights. It ain't a time of desperate times, desperate measures. In any times of desperations, your constitutional rights should not be broken. I don't care what they talk about. I don't care what it is. Because the standard of protecting one's constitutional rights has to be upheld. Because we can all do this and say, well, desperate times. I can say desperate times for how I feel about the government. I can say desperate times and do stuff to break people's constitutional rights of the government, of the black community, of the white community. This could go on and on. There could be no stop of feeling that people are desperate for answers and truth, to where we're breaking each other's constitutional rights. I could do the same thing about stuff I feel. Yeah, there is no limit to this. It's just what is dear to you, what you're concerned about. Yeah. So if you're not able to do, for these people out here that actually do this entrapment, pedophilia, entrapment stuff, that you think you're fooling somebody, if you don't actually have, first of all, concrete sound, you don't have audio, you don't have visuals of what you're talking about. If in this day and time, if you don't have more than testimonies, if you don't have more than that, if you don't have more than an actual real-time act, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble with God. Yes, you are. Because God expects you to have evidence before you accuse someone. God expects you to have more. I don't care if it's 1,000,000 testimonies. If these days, that don't mean anything. What people are concerned with in this day and time, with a lot of people that's lying and twisting things, because things can happen, but what was the nature of the things? Was it when they were kids? Because to me, a kid is never going to be a pedophile, in my opinion, because they have the brain of a child. So how can a child be a pedophile, which the definition is an adult that has desires for children? How are they an adult that have desires for children? How are you an adult that have desires for children and you're a child yourself? That don't make sense. That's beyond oxymoron. It just doesn't make sense. If they had a child brain at the time of sexual things that they did, that makes them a child. You can't put an adult brain in that child, and that's what people do. They try to put the brain of an adult, take that out, and put it in a child situation from something that happened in the past, and now you got all these accusations and things, and really it's people that did things when they were children. And from the relationships I've had with people, a lot of people have done things with they have experimented as children. That does not make you a pedophile. Okay? That's one group, and then there's other people that just straight out lying. There's people that just straight out saying stuff that never happened in any form or fashion. You know, so you can't use testimonies, bona fide naked testimonies no more in this time of day. Because people don't, you can't. You have to have audio, you have to have visuals, you have to have hospital records. Okay? That's what you gotta have. All right, I'm gonna come back with part two. I'm gonna come back with another part of this.